Testing sound, testing sound. 1, 2, 3, mic check. Well, good evening, everybody. We'll be underway very shortly. As soon as practice is over, we'll be back with full voice comms, of course, and we're looking forward to this all-new event. We'll see you in a few minutes with full commentary, but for now, just sit tight and we'll be underway. You can see we've got a 10-minute qualifying followed by a 40-minute race here at Super VoRmula. Well, good evening, race fans, and very warm welcome to everybody to a new concept here for the channel and for VR racing. This is the Super VoRmula Championship, SVR, and I'm your host tonight, Webbo, and we'll be looking forward to seeing how these cars and these drivers tackle these fiendishly difficult Super VoRmula cars exclusively for those drivers with the PSVR2 system. And we are taking part in a shakedown event today, a challenge to see how the drivers settle in, how we all get along racing with one another ahead of a 10-race championship beginning in a couple of weeks' time. Hopefully you are familiar enough with these Super VoRmula cars. I don't need to necessarily introduce them too much. One of the closest open-wheel racing cars to the Formula One experience, handling, power to weight ratio and cornering and aero skill involved in world motorsport, but these are a whole new level of difficult when it comes to racing in VR, not only in VR but with minimal assists on as well. The drivers will be taking a real hammering here at tonight's race. We've got a 10-minute qualifying that is already underway. Let's join perhaps Revelit on board here, and we will see how he handles the fantastic Lago Maggiore track here as we head down towards turn 1. This is the dark side racing, but we'll talk a little bit about the teams in due course through the course of the event. Not everyone has got their full race livery on at the moment. Very slow first couple of corners here for the track, and then it really opens out and you can let that engine breathe as we head then down towards what is a very late apex, turn 5, with a pointed tight apex point and then a gradual entry and gradual exit up over the hill then, and we go through a fantastic S's section which is virtually flat or completely flat depending on setup here for the cars, and then we really are building the speed here, relying on the aero through turns 9, 10 and 11 before the longest straight on the track. That's a half-mile straight as we head downhill towards the hairpin on the way in. This is a message from Jose Luis Cervantes, who says, "Let's go Cabbage Corp." Jose Luis is, I think, one of the drivers for Cabbage Corp, but he's certainly cheering on our all-Canadian team here at the moment. Then in towards turn 15 and 16, almost done with the lap now, as we are about to head through the penultimate corner, turn 17, before the important turn 18 and final corner here. It does get loose on the exit of that corner. The pit lane entry is on your left on after the corner, and Revelit goes and manages to set a 1:35.413, albeit with a red flag against his name. Tequila Monkey has gone fastest so far, and he's in the gold and black at the moment. I think, though, the livery is not yet ready for racing. Tequila Monkey has set a 1:34.234 as we look to have a look at Woe Grizzle. Woe Grizzle is representing Cabbage Corp here, one of our Canadian drivers with Soul Shock, and he is now in second position at 1:34.808 for him. Looks like we've got a nice close field here at the very start of qualifying, at least, and we'll have a look at the cars, as I say, in detail, and the beautiful liveries that the drivers are inaugurating here with us, as Vader has gone fastest in at the top here. Our Spanish rider Vader has managed to get a 32.8. That's astonishing. 1.4 seconds faster than Tequila Monkey so far. We are going to have, though, on this race, it will be a reverse grid for a single endurance length race of 40 minutes. We have Vicinity here, who is racing for the transatlantic team TAC, and you can see a little look. This is about as close as you get from a spectator's point of view to the VR experience, because the camera does move around with the eye line of the driver. You can see the mirrors, and you can see as they twist their head in towards the apexes. This is a good sector for Vicinity as things stand, as he comes up to go through the middle sector now. Well, I would say middle, but second sector. It is a lengthy track, split into 4 entire sectors. So that will take a little bit of getting used to. As we run then way up the hill and then drop down deep in towards the valley of the braking zone, at least for turn 15. But you can actually start letting off those brakes because the corner crests back up again. A most dramatic elevation, perhaps in Gran Turismo 7 that you experience on a full-length racing track, at least in an international configuration. And then down towards this final sector of the race. Of course, personal best being set here by the Vicinity driver. He's got his mandatory sponsors on at the moment. He's got his SVR, and we've got a range of Webbo comms sponsors that the drivers could choose from, and they were also free to create their own Webbo comms stickers and have them available. You can find those in Gran Turismo 7 just by searching for Webbo. And there you can see it's a red, white and blue base livery. Still being built here, I think, the livery. But I tell you what, well, let's have a look at one of the most glorious looking liveries I've seen in a long time. That is for the Tamiya Racing Factory team, Team TRF. And the beautiful, stunning metallic blue and red with the sun, the Italian sun, glinting off the side of the Super VoRmula car. 93 has gone to within half a second of our fastest time from Vader so far for Dark Side Racing, but 93 is just getting himself up to speed here. Just over 3 minutes of qualifying to go here for the drivers, and they will, of course, have to set their time by that point. I wonder, you know, whether Vicinity is sandbagging here so that he can start on our reverse grid pole position. We probably should have seen that coming tonight, but they were given fairly short notice that it would be a reverse grid race. We are on 1 times fuel, 3 times tyre usage. A tyre change, I'm sure, will be mandatory in our championship. Whether it actually has been set to that point for the championship just yet, I'm not sure in this shakedown, but we're going to try and engineer it so that tyre changes at all 3 compounds are viable race tyres, as well as hopefully tweaking the fuel usage so that the cars get down to their fumes by the end of a standard length race. Here comes then 93. This is his outlap at the moment from his recent pit stop. We'll just check on his tyres, but I'm almost certain that 93 has managed to put on the soft tyres here for qualifying, and that is indeed his decision. See, he's just overcooked the front right for a moment there. Drivers driving on full tanks of fuel at the start of qualifying, so times should get equal or faster through the race. That was a super wide entry into the corner. You can see using the overtake push to pass allowance here on his hot lap to try and get closer to Vader, who has actually gone faster still. Now Vader on a 32.657. So 93 will now getting closer and closer. Floydie is dropping by. Good to see Floydie, and as he rightly points out, we will have a International Racing League penultimate race of the season coming up on the channel later tonight in just under 2 hours time. Very kind of Floydie to stop by, as Vader has gone into the pits to regroup and get some new tyres put on. Fastest third sector there for 93's personal best, and 6/10 to the good, which is all he needs. Oh, and there you see just the speed at which the car will snap from you, and that is heartbreaking for the man 93. So let's see him cross the line. Will he be able to get close? In fact, it was a slower lap, unfortunately, but like I say, ordinary 2D racers will have higher expectations of the driver's handling abilities here, but I would ask anybody watching to reserve judgment until they themselves have used this car and they have used the PSVR2 system. It is so difficult to race with minimal traction control, and as I say, with the sensation of speed and lack of control and snapping that this car and combination gives you. At the moment, it's Vader, 93 and Tequila Monkey. QT is going slowly. He will not set another lap, so he has effectively hit the checkered flag for himself. Hopefully we'll get out of the way as we join Revelit here in the Dark Side racing car, and he will run through. Like I say, we are creating new team franchises, obviously virtual teams, and the drivers are getting to know one another and organising their liveries, their sponsors, and equipping themselves ready for our main season. But as things stand, this is our shakedown event for the start of our debut season, as now we've got Revelit heading down towards the hairpin here in the second sector. Good to see Russ. Well, nice to see you. And he said Floydie sent you in. It's very kind of Floydie to bring some audience in. And these are the Super VoRmula cars on GT7. But this is for exclusive for PSVR2 users, so VR drivers only, and they have to be VR verified in order to join our league, to make sure we don't get any sneaky people in. But as we then head out towards the line on board Revelit, who picked up a penalty at the dying death of qualifying, unfortunately, Roy Grizzle will go no further, neither will Soulshock, and it looks like Vicinity has run and done. 4.8 seconds away from the fastest time, but I wonder whether we have got a little bit of sandbagging there from Vicinity in the transatlantic team here. Now, the initials are TAC, but I don't know what the C stands for in transatlantic. But I do know that it is owned by an American and a British driver. So that is how things shake up. We'll be getting for a grid start very shortly. But you can see our qualifying session is done and dusted. Vader with the fastest lap of 132.657 from 90 Tres. And Tequila Monkey some 0.8 of a second away. QT, Revelit, Woe Grizzle will hope to build the pace. And Soul Shock and Vicinity will also be hoping to find a little bit of pace that they have left out there on towards the end of our session. Like I say, we're almost ready for a 40-minute race. Required tyres are the racing medium and softs. You must change tyre in our race. But Russ says he doesn't have GT7. Well, let's get you on GT7, Russ, because honestly, it's amazing. For the cost of entry comparison to some other GT platforms, open wheel platforms, the likes of iRacing, I think this delivers a tremendous level of quality. We'll be on track for you very shortly, as QT Race Control there says we have 5 minutes to the race. So we have, as I said, the 90 Tres will be representing the Tamiya Racing Factory with probably the most complete livery so far that we have seen, masterminded here potentially by QT, who is a graphic designer by trade, so you can kind of see some of that expertise going into his livery. Cabbage Corp also very striking green and yellow livery that we will see Soul Shock and Woe Grizzle take on Lago Maggiore here with the drivers. We've got the team Darkside, who are racing grey, black, red with white, with some white features. Those are driven by Revelit and by Vader. And as I say, then our standout then on the teams will be Tequila Monkey. Tequila Monkey, who I don't think is racing his official colours just yet, but he and his teammate will be taking part very soon and will be finishing their designs in time for our season, which I believe is going to be in 2 weeks' time. We have then finally Vicinity racing for the transatlantic team. He is in the white, mainly white with blue and red wheel rims at the top of the tower on the screen at the moment. The drivers are organised by slowest first for our grid start here, which will be our setup when we have sprint races as part of our event. But tonight it is just the 40-minute sprint. This league has grown out of the F1 Bron test that you'll see various races on this channel previously. And this has grown out of that from by demand, really, by popular demand, I suppose, by the audience who joined in using the hashtag PSVR2. The audience have asked if we can start something, and here we are. Frankly, it's QT, and it is Zadsoda, who unfortunately can't be with us today, who have been organising this brand new league. So it's getting time for us to go trackside then for our race, and hopefully we'll be underway then. There is our grid start. Let's try and get you some race information at very least on the cars as the red lights are ready to come on. We have the slowest car at the front from qualifying, the fastest at the back, Vader, and here comes the start then of our 40-minute race. It's time to drop the clutch and go, go, go. Looks like a Tequila Monkey made a jump start there as the Team Cabbage Corp goes straight into the lead and run this side by side down into turn one. A little nudge on the rear of Soulshock, but his teammate Woe Grizzle has gone straight up to the front of the order. Team Darkside next, and then you can see the Tamiya Racing Factory team coming up into maybe 5th and 6th positions at the moment, and the dive down the inside there potentially from Revolut as these cold tyres suddenly take effect on the first major launch out of the slow corners, and it's Soulshock who has had a problem. Vader and Revolut will go side by side into turn 5, but it's Woe Grizzle who holds the lead, and already you can see one of the Tamiya Racing Factory cars spinning these rear tyres up, and look at the sun glinting off that beautiful Tamiya Racing Factory livery, but it's QT down in 6th at the moment. Vicinity has gone from pole to 7th, but he is just learning the ropes here in these Super Formula cars. It is 90 Trez who's in 4th position. Tequila Monkey has split the Team Tamiya Racing Factory cars, but Team Darkside, the best represented team so far, in 2nd and 3rd position. You've got Woe Grizzle though up at the top of the order. Vader from the back is right up to 2nd position pulling no punches here, and he's already hard on it. In fact, he's running 2 wheels on the grass on the exit of turn 15 as we head into 16 and 17 now. Just to finish out the lap, you see the tyres lighting up on Woe Grizzle's car as Vader is piling the pressure on, and now you've also got the green flashing light on the top of the car as well. Let's check out the tyre situation for the drivers in just a moment, but I think Vader is going to be launching a challenge in a second here. Almost had a go there into turn 1. He's actually got the Empire symbol on the side of his helmet, which is a little bit of class as Vader tucks in, looks to go for the cutback over and under and through into the lead is car 23 for Vader, straight into the lead for Team Darkside Racing, and Woe Grizzle demoted then down to 2nd place. The fastest sector for Vader, as you would expect, on the ascendancy. And coming out of the tricky turn 5 we go. It is Vader, Woe Grizzle, Revolut back in 3rd position at the moment, trying to hang on to his teammates' coattails, or should I say cloak tails, as 90 Trez also follows then in 4th. We've got Tequila Monkey still splitting the Tamiya Racing Factory cars. Tequila Monkey in the temporary livery there, the gold and black, with QT down in 6th position at the moment. He would not like to start this shakedown, start off in the racing course with a loss to a teammate, or frankly to be losing out so early on to the other 5 cars ahead of him, as 90 Trez is trying to defend hard here from Tequila Monkey. Can't find his way through. Let's try and hang with those drivers as we go super close up, thanks to these amazing camera angles, as Russ says there. And then as Floydie did actually point out, and I can see Floydie is now using a slightly more easy to understand YouTube handle as well, because he usually comes in with a different name into our other league. 90 Trez in 5th position, could not hold off the rising Tequila Monkey here, who's gone into 4th position. It is Darkside from Cabbage, from Darkside, from Tequila Monkey's team, whose name evades me at the moment. 90 Trez and QT with Vicinity down in 7th position, and again just struggling out of these slow corners. We've seen a couple of drivers have a problem out of turn 4. Soulshock is down in 8th as well and has suffered some off-track excursions, I think, wearing the maple leaf there. The Cabbage Corp team have actually managed to arrange themselves so that it is an all-Canadian entry, but Vader is right in the lead. Like I say, a 40-minute race. Vader might be flirting with track limits there a little bit as he goes through the apex. Hopefully he did that off throttle and feathered his exit, because otherwise the game will give you those track penalties. It's pretty strict, usually, unless we've turned those settings down for the benefit of this particular race. As I say though, let's have a look at our tyre selections from the drivers. Vader, quite obviously, on the soft tyres from the off here. Might be trying to get 10 to 15 minutes out of those tyres if he can, and then go on to the, frankly, much better race tyre of the medium tyres. Vader then completes lap 3, starts lap 4, and Grizzle also on the soft tyres. We don't get the tyre sidewall markings that you see in Formula 1 and in IndyCar either. Here you have to rely on the on-screen display, but Grizzle has those soft tyres on as well. Just trying to keep the car within track limits, as Revelit has gone also soft tyres to start. We've got some good matching strategies. I can see QT though coming off the medium tyres that he started on and has gone on to softs. It looks like he's already gone into the pits. Tequila also on the soft tyres. I'm not 100% sure that the drivers will have prepared these strategies from the outset. 90 Tres though has gone on to the mediums to start with. He still is lacking those somewhat. He's dropped 10.5 seconds from the lead, but he is the lead medium runner at this stage, and he's going faster, and he's bringing those medium tyres into his racing temperatures vicinity. Soft tyres for the transatlantic driver, as QT, as I mentioned, out on new soft tyres after only 6 minutes. Looks like he'll be running medium, soft, medium potentially, unless he can tyre whisper his way all the way through this race. Soulshock also on the softs and at the back of our grid at the moment, but you never know when things might go wrong with VR racing and these Super Formula cars with minimal traction control. The drivers will unfortunately slip up throughout the race, I'm sure, and we will see some fireworks. Here is Grizzle then, enjoying some pretty good server connections, touch wood, at the moment as well. As you can see now, a bit of a queue starting to develop behind the second Darkside Racing driver, Revelit, here, our Hungarian driver, who is now backing himself into Tequila Monkey, who does not have a huge gap over Grizzle. Let's join Tequila Monkey on board as our knuckles get completely in the way of our vision, as they do in most open wheel racing from the cockpit cam. I would hope most drivers using the VR headset will be racing in the cockpit like this, rather than this view on the camera. But as I mentioned in the practice, this is in the qualifying. This is kind of the best, most accurate kind of sensation of speed and motion, visual motion that you get in the VR headset from a 2D stream perspective. What I haven't been able to do is to evaluate whether it's possible to spectate by VR and actually operate the camera that way. I don't think it will be. You can see some tyre smoke there from Revelit in the car ahead, on board with 4th place Tequila Monkey here. 9/10 of a second is just that short distance to the car in front at the moment as we run through. Very little by way of push to pass. You can see the overtake towards the right hand side of the bottom of the screen. That is their push to pass overtake boost allowance, and you can already see those soft tyres. This track really does punish the cars because there's some heavy braking zones, some slow traction zones to come out of the slow corners, and then of course your traditionally hard on the tyre situation of the fast sweeping corners in sector 2. Some bank corners as well where you lean on the tyres quite strongly. We currently have a southeasterly 2 meter per second wind speed as well. With the Super Formula cars, this corner section is very, very quick and flat out with the aero advantage that you get from there. But usually in the GT cars, you will find that you are lifting off at the first part of those S's as we head into the frankly roller coaster looking 180-ish degree hairpin, and actually 90 Tres is now catching a little bit. He's only 1.9 seconds behind. You get a real sensation of the speed and whether the cars are starting to move around underneath our fantastic drivers here. Welcome if you're just joining us. This is the debut shakedown event prior to our championship for the all-new SVR Super VoRmula Racing Championship. And we are inaugurating some new teams as 90 Tres comes in off the medium tyres for an early pit stop here. Whoa, Grizzle is in from second position and fitting, I'm hoping, some medium tyres. This indeed he is. And presumably then, just about 10 minutes is all he managed to get out of the soft tyres. And he'll be hoping for much better life out of the mediums in the what may be second or at least middle stint of his racing. But you really do on a harder compound of tyres. When you switch onto a harder compound of tyres, they're cold, they take a little bit of bedding in, and it's a really difficult adjustment. Personally, I always prefer to start on a harder compound and go softer because the grip is more than you're expecting. I never like it when you come out of the pits and you have less grip than you're used to and expecting, but I'm a bit of a noob and a bit of a novice in comparison to our amazing drivers here today. We're going to have a nice close-up look at the liveries then. Actually, no, let's go and see what Tequila Monkey and Revelit are up to. There is still a second gap between the two. I won't spend too much time looking at Tequila Monkey's livery because I'm pretty sure this is going to change, but a metallic black and gold livery here at the moment. No sponsors on the car at the moment, so it does make me think that perhaps he hasn't actually equipped everything ready for racing, as we'll join here. This is the Dark Side Racing system on our team. We've got various different sponsors on the car. You need to look closely for the Webbo comms sponsors and of course the SVR sponsorships. One on the shark fin for sure, one on the rear wing, absolutely, one on the nose as well, and of course they've chosen the Star Wars reminiscent Webbo comms sponsorship for the nose there, which I do appreciate very much so. As you can see then, the gap closing behind Revelit's car, but Vader some 12.7 seconds off in the lead at the moment. You can see the soft tyres absolutely begging for mercy now on the Dark Side Racing car as they run into the S's. He will find less grip through here. Keep an eye on the accelerator and brake indicator either side of the rev counter, the bottom of your screen, and you'll see if anyone starts to lift through those S's. Here is Tequila Monkey getting closer and closer, though. 0.6 of a second away is all the driver has at the moment. In fact, closing in through the hairpin, getting slightly poor mid-corner to exit and struggling away from that hairpin as things stand, but getting closer and closer, also on the soft tyres, on the same strategy as Revelit here. We'll see, but he's managing to get the car closer into the apex at the end of this 8th lap. Let's see if either of these drivers decide to go into the pits. Not yet, so they're quite happy riding on these tyres, and I think if they can get themselves to closer to another lap, a 9th lap complete, maybe even a 10th lap, this will be a very easy two-stop strategy, one-stop strategy I should say, switching onto the mediums and expecting them to last around double the amount of time as the softs have lasted for them is a fair assumption and a fair hope at least. Here is Tequila Monkey then, as we have a long draw distance on the approach into the difficult turn 5. He is getting closer and closer. Looks like we're going to be gearing up here for an overtake potentially. He's not, well, I was going to say he's not waiting for the slipstream down into the hairpin, but he has just feathered slightly here into the S's to try and make use of that realistic level of slipstream that we've attributed to the league. Obviously our settings are all subject to change as these turbo Super VoRmula cars. That straight, it looks long on the track map, but it's only half a mile, so maybe 2/3 of a click is all you actually get. So that with realistic slipstreaming, I wonder, whether we've got, when we have races with short straights, relatively speaking, whether we might want to dial that slipstream effect up. But the overtake push-to-pass button is available to the drivers as well. Tequila Monkey at the moment, though, just taking it fairly steady. He's caught the driver in front. He's suffering a little bit of reduced aero performance. They have gone through, passing lap 9, but Revelit has gone into the pits, so Tequila Monkey goes into second position. We'll have a look up at Vader here in the lead, 16.4 seconds after just 10 laps, and I think we've already found our season favourite here for the championship, potentially. We'll see if he keeps it together through this race, but at the moment things are looking pretty strong for Vader. We've already had a good close-up look at the Dark Side Racing Team livery. Let's go down to the tail here and have a look at Soulshock for the Cabbage Corp. Now, they have gone to an awful lot of effort here to go for a very attractive livery system. I'm not sure about the colour contrast. It's very Lotus reminiscent of the dark green and yellow. Very British Racing green kind of livery for these Canadians, and a very interesting name. I'd love to know a bit of the backstory around Cabbage Corp and the actual name behind it. But Soulshock hasn't used any of his overtake push to pass at the moment. He's still on his starting tyres, but he's nearly now a minute away from Vader, who is on the same strategy, very similar tyre strategy. And Vader into the pits then, and I would imagine Tequila Monkey is on his way into the pits. But if he does not pit, we will have a change for the lead for the first time since lap 2. So will Tequila Monkey decide that now is a good time to pit? Vader only using about 20%, 21% of his fuel so far. And here is then the Cabbage Corp pit crew ready. And they have also got their team overalls on, which is great to see. Vader back out then on the medium tyres. So just to have another close-up look at some of these liveries, we've got Vicinity here. They've chosen the Mobile One style Webbo comms sponsorship on the side, which I appreciate no end. And the S Super VoRmula driver SVR sponsor as well, but they're still obviously looking for some major title sponsors of the transatlantic team. Maybe an airline would be a good approach here. One of those transatlantic airlines would be pretty cool. And we'll have a look then. I promised a good close look at the Tamiya Racing factory livery, and let's do that now, shall we? Using the Honda, and then you can see fantastic paint effect here on the car. They have also gone for this Star Wars style Webbo comms there, just above the Sparko on the deflector in front of the side pod. Absolutely glorious. And as usual for QT, he's also gone for a matching helmet style. It's kind of orangey, but it fits with the paint application and finish of the rest of the car liveries as well. QT then in 6th place at the moment. I'm pretty sure he would have been hoping for a little bit better than 6th place when he started the league, when he was hoping to race today, but it is obviously important for him to get himself in training, as well as dedicating what looks to be hours and hours to the beautiful graphics on the car. 6th place then for QT at the moment as we tick over on to start his lap 12, and he is catching Tequila Monkey now, because QT has managed to tiptoe around this track. He's done 12 laps so far. He has put he's put a first set of softs on, but he has pitted once. So presumably, I have to think, is running medium soft or medium soft medium today. And we're very pleased to welcome so many new viewers to this Super VoRmula, as it is our debut racing event. Vader leads by Woe Grizzle and 90 Tres after almost approaching half distance on our race. It is we've got Woe Grizzle, 90 Tres, then Revelit, Tequila Monkey just in front of QT on screen at the moment. Then behind them we have Vicinity and Soulshock. We will have 14 drivers. We will have the ability to have reserve drivers for the teams as well, I'm sure, if we overbook. But for now, I think 8 cars appearing at a short notice practice event is very respectable. QT then, on the soft tyres against Tequila Monkey, who has fitted the mediums and is just out of the pits. This is a definite fight for position, albeit that QT is unlikely to make the end of the race without another pit stop. However, I look forward to seeing some action here between these two. Now just 0.3 of a second away. QT in the slipstream, down the start-finish straight, very short start-finish straight, as he takes to the outside, looks to go a long way to get the tuck in for turn 2, doesn't quite get the overlap, so just patiently waits for his opportunity here, find his way through. QT racing, of course, for the Netherlands as well as for his Tamiya Racing Factory car, as he gets tucked in here. Quite why Tamiya are not a bigger motorsport sponsor, I don't know, but they look fantastic on the cars, and of course I'm sure they would produce some amazing merch as well. I was a builder of Tamiya and Revell models as a kid, so definitely that's a great nostalgia hit for me. Here comes QT then, he's got the slipstream, has he? It's just difficult to hold with the car in front, coming out of the S's and down onto the longest straight into the hairpin, and he can't find his way through just yet. As Tequila Monkey dancing around a little bit, I think that might be down to server lag between the two cars, potentially. Tequila Monkey moving around, QT trying not to put himself in a position where he suffers the aero loss. Tequila Monkey just wiping out slightly to the outside of turn 15, and then QT lighting up the rear tyres. A little lock up on the front left, followed by a little bit of overrun on the over rotation, you would say, on the rear tyre as well. And he starts another lap 14, as we go well into the second half of our race, as Tequila Monkey struggles his way through turn 1. QT goes outside to inside. He'll try and cut through here, but they run side by side through the next corner. QT holding firm though to the inside, and it's a 4-corner delay, but he finally completes the move up to 5th position. But Tequila Monkey hasn't had enough of this just yet, moving around under braking, trying to find a gap to dive down into. But QT just with that additional grip at the moment, but his grip will be a lot more fickle. He will find that on these soft tyres as they get towards that 50% mark on the front left particularly, but also the rear left, he is going to struggle to hold on to the car. Up a bit further in the order, we have Wogrizzle in 4th place, driving very well indeed. I'm just wondering what that green sponsor is on the side of the car, just in front of the race number. Can't quite make it out at the moment, but we've got a red and a green, similar colours on the car. That might be this part of the Nuke Cola that the drivers have got here. I just can't quite make out the green circle on the side of the car, but I will endeavour to find out. Reveille in 4th position, and that is the start of lap 15 for him. Wogrizzle holding his station here in 3rd position, started to build some. He's certainly got some good lap times, some close to qualifying lap times in amongst there. Lap 12 was a little bit off for him. We haven't actually seen a live penalty for any of our drivers yet, but they will have to pay those penalties as and when the track limits cause a problem in our regular season. This is the Cabbage Corp though. He's definitely pushing his Wogrizzle here, Canadian driver. There is the penalty marker, so when the drivers are given penalties, they go off throttle at that point for the time that is denoted on screen. 90 Trez featuring much better at the moment in this sequence. I think he's fitted a second set of softs, or he's running the same strategy as his teammate QT, starting on the mediums, potentially, yes, and then running the softs in the middle stint, which it will be for him. How is Vader doing on his tyres? Well, he's extending the gap again, and his tyres are looking pretty handy. He's down in the mid 1 minute 34s. He's been as low as a 134.172, sorry, on these tyres at least. But his fastest lap is on the soft tyres from the start, which is a 33.194. We're going to get to a point. Wow, Vader off the circuit. Most uncharacteristic. And as I've mentioned a few times, it is blink and you miss it here with the VR system drivers, who will see that situation happen very quickly, and it's so difficult to react. The Dark Side Racing team frantically on the radio, because they can now see the lead behind closing in for 90 Trez. Will be getting closer and closer, but a rare mistake that time from Vader, and he won't thank me for catching it on stream either. But all the same, it's great for our race, as 90 Trez has got within now half a second here of Vader, who is going to be suffering some some cold tyre situation. That is a change for the lead. 90 Trez taking the Tamiya Racing Factory up into the lead of this race for the first time, which is fantastic to see. The drivers get into the swapping for the lead at this early stage of our championship. It was looking a little bit one-sided there with Vader, but that's the advantage of those soft tyres. Soft tyres looking fantastic actually on the car for 90 Trez, as Vader can only try and hang on here to stay within a pit stop distance. In fact, Vader on the medium tyres is heading in. He has a compromised front wing and front right on the car. I think he's just seen how the soft tyres are performing and decided, right, I'm definitely fitting softs to the end of this race, or at least I need a new set of mediums. Let's stay with him though and see what tyres he chooses. No fueling, of course, for the drivers. This is Vader out on soft tyres with just under 14 minutes to go, and you can see how cold those soft tyres are already as Vader gets all crossed up. He's down in 4th position. Yes, some drivers, potentially Revelit, may want to pit again, but where Grizzle is looking like his mediums probably won't make the end of the race. But Vader's got some ground to catch up here to try and get back to the lead of the race, as he will absolutely try his hardest. And you can see just on the rear end plate of the car, they fitted the Rusty's reminiscent Webbo comms stickers on the car. And if anyone's watching, you can also grab those stickers or design your own in Gran Turismo 7. Just search for the tag Webbo Red. And you'll find a range of sponsor stickers, and I can probably try and get some more out on there as well, but you're welcome to show me screenshots of using the Webbo comms liveries, and I'll love to see how integrated they are into a custom livery as well. We've got Vader in 4th, we've got Revelit in 3rd position at the moment, should be happily pitted to the end now. Revelit, well, Grizzle in 2nd place. Is that soon to be 1st, because 90 Trez has finally given up on those soft tyres. Into the pits he goes. Might be fitting a new set of softs potentially, because they did start the Tamiya Racing Factory cars. They did start on the medium tyres, so it looks like 90 Trez can fit softs to the end. In fact, he's come out in front of Vader. How much longer will that last? Well, he's got himself in to be the meat in a Dark Side Racing sandwich in P3, and you can see already just not experiencing the grip he was used to there. He'd be hoping to warm these tyres up quickly, and they will warm up quickly, but he knows his target. All of these drivers now on screen should be pitted to the end and have a shot for the win and the podium, as Revelit is in 2nd place, where Grizzle some distance up the road at the moment. He has the medium tyres on. He's conserving tyres to the end, as is Revelit, but will they have more grip left at the end of the race, because the chasing pair of 90 Trez and Vader will be running out of tyres by the end of this race. 90 Trez has a great run out. Oh, a little bit of contact there. The first little bit of contact we've seen potentially between these drivers, and 90 Trez was having none of it. He wanted the widest entry available to him to the hairpin, and potentially closed off another Revelit there in the braking zone, as Vader had a good view of that and will not be pleased. I'm sure he'll be breathing heavily in the helmet and getting pretty hot under the collar and planning to exact the dark side revenge that is due to 90 Trez. Well, Grizzle pits then. He's seen the writing on the wall for those soft tyres, and well, Grizzle has come into the pits with about 70% of his fuel remaining to him. Plenty of fuel left for the cars. I think it's looking like we should be able to turn our fuel use up to 2 times. And if that means that the drivers have a little bit of lifting and coasting to do to complete an uninterrupted race, so be it. I'd love to see it. So that would be pretty awesome. Or a little splash and dash at the end of the race as well for those who haven't been able to conserve fuel. Always makes for an interesting race, I think. Vader in second, 90 Trez in first, and this is your battle then as we head for the final 10 minutes of our endurance race here today. Vader using a little bit of push-to-pass boost, and 90 Trez has actually used 3/4 of his boost available to him as well. And you'll see exactly what's happening, because you can see on the lights here what your rival is doing with their boost, as Vader makes an expert pass for the lead there. Very nicely done, and he's got half of his boost remaining, twice the amount of boost that 90 Trez has got. And this is the battle for the bragging rights for 2 weeks at least until we enter our championship stages. This, like I say, is the shakedown preview of our upcoming championship. There is still time to register and join as a reserve driver. Get yourself test and reserve driver status with a team, and of course then you can substitute if the main drivers are out. But we are beginning our new team franchises here with Vader for Darkside Racing, 90 Trez for Tamiya Racing Factory, and Revelit is the second driver at the moment for that Darkside Racing. He's tiptoeing around, actually, really struggling on these medium tyres. They may come to be a slight advantage towards the end of the race, but it looks like those mediums are nearing the point where they are almost done and dusted for racing. Tequila Monkey in 4th place, where Grizzle less than a second behind on new soft tyres. Tequila Monkey on the mediums, so where Grizzle hasn't given up his hopes for the podium, I don't think. A 1 second gap to Tequila Monkey, a 2.2 second further up the road to Revelit, and where Grizzle here has medium tyre runners to the 2 cars ahead of him that are blocking the podium at the moment. So can he make the most prodigious and strategic use of these new soft tyres to get him home safe and dry? Brand new softs, the newest softs I think on the racetrack, because QT pitted more than a lap prior. He's in 6th place, nearly 33 seconds away from the lead, and he will be a little bit frustrated with that showing, I think, and redouble his practice efforts in the intervening period before the start of our season proper. Soulshock down in 7th right now, ahead of Vicinity by 8.6 seconds. Soulshock has got soft tyres on, and he's going to hope that they make the end of the race. Might consider a change of race number, because number 13 hasn't been fantastic for him so far tonight. Vicinity, though, trying his absolute damnedest here, and has definitely sped up through the course of today's event. He's now a minute away from the leader, but that is, I mean, I think he was about 40 seconds away in the very first part of our race. So Vicinity is definitely catching here. He's in P8 at the moment for the transatlantic team down there, and Vader 3 seconds ahead of 90 Trez. The main battle that we have at this stage is going to be Woe Grizzle and whether he can get himself onto the podium. He's got 4th place immediately in front of him. That is Tequila Monkey just trying to hold the middle line into the corner. Keeps Woe Grizzle guessing. Woe Grizzle gets good exit out of turn 5. It's not quite enough though before they head into 6, 7, 8 and try to motor their way through the S's. Woe Grizzle be hoping to use some of that push to pass, although I don't know if he's found the button yet. He's not mashing that button, whereas you've got to say you would expect him to start wanting to clear him, and down the inside he goes of Tequila Monkey. He's through. There might have been a hint of a little touch there between the drivers, but it was inevitable that the Cabbage Corp car would go in front. AJ with the Danny Rick memes as he was last week. Nice to see you, AJ. Even if you are saying ridiculous things. P4 for Woe Grizzle, and he can see P3 up ahead. Drivers, of course, would absolutely love to start this shakedown event off win our new season, new championship with a podium if they can. We're Grizzle in fourth on the new soft tyres against Revelit on the aging and difficult medium tyres. Jose Luis Cervantes says, let's go. He's happy to see We're Grizzle moving forward as well. Jose Luis, I'm pretty sure you are part of a different team, no? So you have to let me know your team and why you're cheering on. Cabbage Corp, Tequila Monkey getting a bit distracted from what's happening in front of him. Well, Grizzle moves forward and he's in third position now, and that is potentially his podium safe. 13.3 seconds in front is going to be a hard task to climb in just over 5 minutes remaining on our race, with 90 Trez in second, Vader in first, Revelit deposed down to fourth. Jose Luis saying, I'm the Cabbage Corp captain, so why have you got two other drivers driving for you today? Is that your reserve driver, Soul Shock? Is that the situation? There is Tequila Monkey. AJ was impressed with his name, and there is his livery at the moment, but I think it is a work in progress, this livery for the new team. Only our shakedown event, unless what he's doing is hiding his aero, and it's a camo testing livery for Tequila Monkey. 24.8 seconds away from the lead of the race, but only 4.1 away from fourth position at the moment. QT though down in sixth position, our Leigh owner and driver who has been inaugurating this whole championship, and obviously, as I said before, spending hours on a beautiful livery for Tamiya Racing Factory there in the Super VoRmula car. But P6 is not what he's happy. As Jose Luis is saying, he's getting more sponsors for the team, even more sponsors for the Cabbage Corp team. That's going to be great to see. You might have to change your livery because there won't be room. You've got plenty of room on the nose for those new sponsors, so that would be fantastic to see. And we love to see the passion that the drivers are already getting involved in here. So I'm assuming that it is not going to be an all-Canadian entry, Jose Luis, but let me know if it is, in fact, going to be all-Canadian. This is Soul Shock VR, who is in P7 for our race. We have 3.5 minutes remaining for the drivers. Vicinity down in 8th place right now, but building and building, plenty of experience. Vader has been dominant, has been imperious, can I actually say, at this stage of the race, and so far in our event. It did look like 90 Trez was going to run him a little bit closer, but we have seen a mistake. Well, we've seen a major mistake, and that was just a minor mistake there from Vader, who just put two wheels out on the dirt, and it is so easy as the grip drops on these cars. We're almost reaching now, you see, halfway point on the fuel allowance, and I think if we were doing 2 times fuel, that would be pretty cool, because then the drivers would have to do some coasting to get the final couple of minutes racing. I'm not sure exactly how many minutes of longer races. We shall see. This track is as Vader in the lead of the race will be counting down the seconds here and hoping that it will be just one more lap. It looks like we will have a 26 lap race here, and I think we will not have a lapped driver, which is great for a brand new series being inaugurated. Vader playing fast and loose with track limits penalties. I'm pretty sure that we've got our track limits turned very low right now, because that was pretty aggressive through the apex of the corner. So yeah, we can absolutely, I was going to say absolutely confirm. He needs to slow down, actually, Vader, if he only wants one more lap out of this, because we need to get, yeah, I think that will now confirm that it will be just one more lap on the race. And what you'll see on Gran Turismo is a strange system of racing in that everybody finishes at 0-0. So you don't complete the lap of the leader, you complete the lap you're on, whatever that is. 90 Trez, 7.5 seconds away. He did have a good bit of battling with Vader for a little while there, as Grizzle has absolutely dropped Revelet and Revelet and Tequila Monkey, because Tequila Monkey is now pitted for soft tyres for the final 2 laps of the race. Tremendous to see that, a bit of adventure. QT will be relieved because he's up into 5th place now, but Tequila Monkey will presumably have some fantastic opportunity now to take that position away from QT. Look at the tyre deg on QT's car. I actually want Tequila Monkey to change his name to Tequila Mockingbird. I'm sorry. I don't know why I found that so entertaining. I really shouldn't laugh at my own jokes. Tequila Monkey then in 6th position, because that's all I can think about now is Mockingbird. So 6th place for him on the soft tyres. We've got Revelet out there in no man's land in 4th position at the moment on the medium tyres, just trying to limp that car home right now. Vader is about to close out here. We've got about 8 seconds to go before we hit the 40. That should finish us up. Vader is about to complete the lap. There is the 40 minutes. That means that I think Vicinity will take the checker. He does. Vader will win our shakedown event here for Dark Side Racing with a tremendously dominant display. 90 Tres has had a great showing as well and brings the Tamiya Racing factory car home in 2nd position. A very happy team there for both Dark Side and for 90 Tres. Nice to see a mix of drivers on the podium, as well as Cabbage Corp come through with Woe Grizzle into 3rd place, taking home plenty of non-championship points, but bragging rights at least. Revelet then, the Hungarian driver for Team Darkside, will come through and take 4th place for a hard-fought race and a difficult race on the medium tyres, one stopping his way to a finish. And QT then for the first of our repeat team drivers. Different teams in the top 4 is a great first showing. QT will come home and take the 5th position at the flag. Tequila Monkey just not quite there, and he smashes the car in frustration in the 6th place. One more car home, and it'll be Soul Shock VR coming through into the final sector. But the plaudits go to Vader, our first race winner, as it were, here at Team Darkside. Vader taking in the applause of our virtual crowd. Some great racing. Grizzle was happy to see Cabbage Corp up there. Naturally, so is team captain Jose Luis Cervantes. And we really enjoyed that one. Fantastic stuff from our drivers. There is a celebration for Vader. The only thing he hasn't quite done is kit out the rear of his racing suit. We can't see what the front of the racing suit looks like, but I'm pretty sure he's wearing something Vader-esque on his helmet as well. There he has 7 places up. He did get the pole position. He put in a great run. I'm just going to save that. So in case we have any issues later, but the full confirmed result, at least provisionally here, is a Vader win, a 40-minute and 7-second race, a 1-minute 32.426 fastest lap as well, taking home everything he possibly could if we were awarding points for this race. 90 Tres in 2nd. We have Woe Grizzle some 20.6 seconds away, but on a different strategy there for Cabbage Corp. Revelet in 4th and QT in 5th. We'll be relatively pleased with today, but with plenty of work to do. Tequila Monkey in 6th place, Soul Shock in 7th, and Vicinity at the rear of the car did end up going down, fulfilling 1 lap fewer than the rest of the drivers, but wasn't actually physically lapped. It's a difficult, complex thing. But we had 8 riders, 8 runners. We had 8 finishes, which is great to see. We will have a hopefully full grid for you in a couple of weeks' time when we bring in our first championship race here at the all-new Super VoRmula Racing, SVR for PSVR2 drivers. I've been Webbo. This has been a brand new racing league for us and for you, and hopefully you've enjoyed yourselves as much as we have. Thank you to our league admin QT for setting everything up and getting us all going and getting us organized. Thanks from me. Thanks for watching. We will catch you on the next race day.